John Florence out front on the Jeep leaderboard, wears the weight of the yellow jersey as he now encounters a dangerous man in Frederico Morais.
No matter what, John holding on to a 13th, so now we're getting into the adjustment.
Well, here we go. It's a big encounter because this man was dangerous this time last year, and he's to work quickly here. Frederico Morais, corner pocket here, he's just trimming. He's a tall man, he's looking for the little pocket zone again, and he'll click away at it. So the Portuguese crowd will be split for fans' support here.
The power of John is he's creative. He can mix it up better than anyone on the planet. So what Frederico can do is he can throw some solid surfing at John. He's going to be consistent. He's not going to go for moves that are going to be most likely where he falls and throw kind of caution into the wind. He's just going to keep that board planted to the water. Now looking at that wave right there, just a little clunky. He didn't have that flow. So the judges will take a look at that. The first turn here, pretty nice from Frederico. That's what I'm talking about right there, where he's just going to kind of place that board and hook into a decent snap. Another one here, a little better. The second one got just a little bit of tail release. So the best turn right there, you can see he got dumped down to the trough. He lost all his speed, and from there, that's where the wave got kind of clunky. So this should be a mid-range score at best.
Well, he's tall and he's got a lot of leverage. He'll think about that score as he heads back. It is locking in. It's a 5.5 plus a little decimal 0.13. Sees a 5.63 top left of screen. So 2 rides, one of them very tiny number. No rides yet for John Florence.
I felt like a 10 just before my hit, and that wave came and I just gave everything I had and it just went perfectly, yeah.
When you ride a wave like that and you finish up, do you put a number in your head?
Not really, because I couldn't see Caio's waves, so I didn't want to push my notes higher than I expect, So I thought it would be like better than my wave, my first best score. So
during your interview there, Pete, John went to town, and it was a great opener.
Well, it was a big wave, and so kind of a nerve-wracking starting wave for John. He's thinking, geez, I gotta jump right into the deep end of the pool. And that is confidence right there. So showing to the judges, hey, I'm going to commit. I'm not going to patty cake this wave. And a nice turn right here again. Watch the tail. So again, not just kind of placing the board. He is drifting that tail twice. That was definitely his best maneuver right there. So, that was kind of cool how that wave had a crescendo at the end. It got better and better. And it's always tough to gauge this outside part of the wave. When it has that whitewash, you have to kind of set up your tempo and pace. But he did well. He didn't overthink it. He didn't rush it. He kind of just let this wave form, and it got better and better with it. So, this is going to really settle the nerves for John. Crazy, he had to wait a long time for that, but he definitely answered the call.
Well, a couple of cross ribs on the face, but the inside section very clean, Ross, the completion of turns.
Yeah, and this last turn's even better. Straight into it. Here's the wrap. So he's setting up for the last turn. So there's a gauge there. He's waiting. Nice patience. He's going to tap it and then bust the tail. So amazing there. And that actually isn't even the last turn. Here's the best. That one was great. He was synced up with it. He didn't have to measure the speed. He just said, okay, I got no time. I got a bottom turn and hit it right away. And so it was like a natural response.
Yeah, it was like a drum roll, right? Just getting more intense down the line. An 8.5 comes to the scorecard. One judge goes as high as a 9.2. The other goes a flat 8. But the average comes out at an 8.5 from the panel.
And he's under priority gigs, which is awesome because he can come inside like he's trying to do right now and get that backup score.
Well, here we go. Plan B now for that second wave unfolds. John, board speed around the section. Tight. The board is releasing at will. John will just wrap it. A little bit of a tapered shoulder. It's gone into a slower section, but John will keep it moving. He'll pace it nicely. New little pocket just to bring the end through, and John will go to that signature tail release. It's going to work for him though. He's going to bank a wave number 2. World title implications at play here, and John Florence is navigating his way perfectly towards a world title in 2016. This is his backup wave now, wave number 2 being established.
And you can see some of these inside waves are sneaky. They have, they build, they grow, and that first turn was really nice for John. Beyond vertical. I like the traction he's getting. He's not just tapping his board. He's kind of arcing out of him, throwing some spray. Here's where he lost a little bit of speed, so he had to settle for just a tiny little reverse, but still finishing on his feet gigs.
Loving it. Waiting for a number from the panel for that as we draw our attention now to Frederico Morais, who'll want to bring a comeback answer to John John. And he'll go for his version of the hook in the top corner. It's a little bit more open and swept. And this wave is now, you see, down the line, the wave's just having a little bit of an interruption, and then they go clean pocket again. Frederico around the section. And he'll just try and force it up in the top corner. It'll jam there. And meanwhile, wave number 2, now a number comes for John Florence, a 6.67. So everything unfolding on track here for the Hawaiian. And meanwhile, wave number 2, now a number comes for John Florence, a 6.67. So everything unfolding on track here for the Hawaiian.
Yeah, that's you know, things are really unfolding nicely for John, and it didn't really start that way. He had to wait a long time for his first wave, and a little uncharacteristic here from Frederico. Usually he's just standard, you know, as soon as he steps up on a set wave, he's good for a 7 or an 8. But a little out of rhythm on this one. You can see he just got stuck on that cutback. So at this point, Giggs, he knows, geez, I haven't really done anything worth some serious points on this wave. So he forced the issue there.
Yeah.
And, you know, once you're out of rhythm with these long waves, it really is tough to fight back.
The crowd is soaking up the action here in Portugal. You're rejoining us with 7 minutes and a half to go, with John Florence out front over Frederico Morais. The dangerous Portuguese wildcard is trying to unlock the numbers here, and he's got to work here. So strong leverage again on the backhand. The tall man gets a lot of angles. He's blitzed the best in the world in this format a number of times. And Frederico just tags it at will here. So looking to build momentum. A little over 7 to go as Frederico will exit.
He looked way more inspired in that effort there, Giggs. So let's see the top of this wave. You can see it's an insider, small wave, but beautiful first turn. And we talked about this earlier this morning. It's contagious. Once you lay in one good turn, it feels so good. You're like, okay, I'm switched on. Let's do this. Unfortunately, that wave a little sleepy through the middle, but watch him catch fire again. Right here on the inside, he gets a little bit of face to work with, and he absolutely attacks here. I like this little snap right there, too. So that was definitely a fired-up Frederico. That should be better than his 5.5.
Needs to advance to two more hits, keep that world title to take it apart. It looks like John is up and riding at the moment. A nice snap in the pocket there. So a lot going on down here at the beach. A lot of anticipation for these next few heats of round number 3.
Well, Rosie, John floats that one to completion, looking to better the 6.67 and place the pressure back on Frederico Morais.
Yeah, he needs to steal the momentum back. He probably heard the score from Frederico. He said, okay, I don't want this guy to get back in the heat. And I like that first turn. You know, I like the fact that he kept traction. He didn't skip out, and that turn was crazy. So much speed, and a very smart choice of moves there. You know, it looked like for a second he widened his stance, like maybe he was going to go for an air reverse, and instead he went for the float and finished on his feet. So for sure he's going to get rid of that 6.6.
7.77, add that to the 8.5 for the total score of a 16.27, has him pretty much ahead of his year average in the half 14s. We think of the completeness of who John Florence is as a surfer, and now a young man. But let's see where we go with this, because Frederico Morais, the wildcard Portuguese surfer, is going to stumble, and that will not find a 9.9 from the panel. Surf fans around the world just lapping the stuff up as we are here in the booth. And now with 1 minute on the clock, John's going to get moving again here. Can he better a 7.77 and really put Morais into combination? Big wall stretches out with the incoming tide. Lovely sort of high-line drive there. This wave's got a few buckles to it. And John, for the first time, maybe looking at the air. Nope, he doesn't go there. So a long run down the line, couple hundred yards travelled.
You know, you never know. He could get a 10.
Well, here we go. There's still a chance. 20 seconds, a 9.9 requirement. Frederico Morais, tight. Now, regroups, smashes it, roofline. Down, and there's only the 2 parts to it, Ross, so pretty much it looks like, and it will be an official, that John Florence is right through this round and on his way to heat number 4. This is going to load a bunch of pressure on Gabriel Medina. The crowd are loving this thing. The world title race, one step at a time, unfolds for us here in Portugal.